Hi everyone, Catherine here from Inky Fingered Cat with my Christmas in July roundup. So, I have just finished the last video. I've just done the voiceover and it's currently uploading. I can't believe I did it. But you know what? I can. It's funny how you say these things like, I can't believe I did it. Actually, there was a lot of work went into it. There was a lot of planning and prep time that meant that it was unlikely I wouldn't succeed, but you just never know what will happen in a month. And what I hadn't anticipated when I started planning for Christmas in July was the design team work that kind of then landed and has meant I have made well over 100 additional samples in the last few weeks. So yeah, it's been touch and go in terms of my sanity. But do you know what? I was fairly confident I could keep up with it and I could do Christmas in July because I've done all the planning. So I thought we'd do a video. I did the same at the end of last year and just run through all of the cards that I've made. For those of you who have not watched all the videos, or maybe you'll watch this as your introduction to the playlist and go, oh, I really want to go and see how day 7 was done, etc. So I'm going to pop you in the overhead and then let's talk through what I've made. Okay, here we go. So, day 1 was last Christmas. And, sorry, I was just double checking I was in camera. Yes, I think I am. Last Christmas, and I chose to remake a card that I'd made last year, but with some slight twists on it, because I don't make the same card twice, as you probably will know if you've been watching me for a while. I say it quite a lot. I get bored very quickly. I do not do batch making in the sense of making the same card in the same design over and over. But it is sometimes nice to revisit cards that you're particularly pleased with. This time I chose to do pine cones slightly differently with different colours of cardstock and this glitter cardstock as one layer, and also different sentiment and slightly different layout. As we know, this year I've all been about making sure I do something on the inside as well. So that was card number 1. Card number 2 was a sketch. Day number 2, sorry, was a sketch. And I chose to use some old pattern papers from magazines. And to be honest, it's a pattern paper that I wasn't 100% keen on. But I love the final card. Something a little bit different, quite a flat card. Again, on the inside, the only bit of raised bit is the sentiment, and even that's kind of a bit squishy, so you can easily post cards of this nature along. I think a sketch is always good fun because you can interpret it in lots of different ways. So that is card from day number 2. Number 3, I turned into a fun fold type of card. I had a gatefold, I made a wreath. I'm fairly confident that the theme was holly and ivy. I haven't got my list in front of me, which is a bit silly. I probably need to rectify this and press pause in a minute. But yeah, holly and ivy for day 3. Used my Paper Artsy Darcy designed stamps, which are some of my favourite holly leaf stamps ever. I use them probably every time I think of holly. These are the stamps that I think of. And I used a few different colours of Brushos for the colouring. Lots of lovely splatter. And then used 2 card blanks to turn it into a gatefold card. Lovely, nice special kind of card, the sort that I might send to my aunt and uncle. Okay, this ended up with a bonus card, which I've realised now probably needs a little bit of glue and attention. But yeah, this one is mistletoe and wine was our theme for day number 4, and I made this one using the mistletoe die, background die. Having done a paper that was full of shimmer, so lots of shimmer spritz, so it's got lots of shine, lots of dimension to this because I did make it so that it was quite chunky and layered up. And then with the bits that were left over, I stuck them into a different die cut of the same, obviously the same die, but cut from the dark green, and I inlaid. But I'm going to leave that one to one side to just do a little bit of a repair job because it's obviously got a little bit lifted when it's been in the basket over the month. That was day 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Day 5, Frosty the Snowman, and this is a layering stencil set that I've struggled with in the past, and someone last year had suggested use some kind of texture paste through it, or yeah, a texture paste. I actually used the glass bead gel. I love this, so fun, so textural, very different. So really happy with that one. Day 6 was Silent Night, and I decided to create a winter scene. Somebody had asked for me to do more winter scene cards, or scene cards. This was one of the ones that I did. I did a few where it was sort of like scene based throughout the month, using indigo blue stamps, a little bit of a Northern Lights effect to the sky, and just some ink blending. Very simple card. Made it a little bit different by putting it on vellum, so I don't know if you can tell that on the video or not, but it's on vellum, so it's a slightly different card design. Makes it a little bit different when it's on display. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Day 7 was a colour scheme, and it was very traditional colours, red, green and gold. And I chose to use the Snow-Capped Holidays dies, but didn't do the actual bird house, which is the other big part of that die set. Just took my 2 little birds, some foliage, some slightly different speciality paper by adding in the glitter cardstock there, and created a lovely scene with my little tartan border. Very cute. And again, right, I don't know why, but that's been adhered at the wrong end. See, doing this video is good for me to just do a little repair job. There we go. Add a little bit of glue to the inside, but again, just making sure that I'm bringing the outside in on that one. Right, next up was Dashing Through the Snow, and for this I was talking about using the same design elements, as in the same pieces of paper, the same stamps, etc., in order to create some slightly different cards. So we've got 2 cards, each of them using the 1-inch strips, some little panels, the Santa element, and then a different sentiment on each, but totally different layouts. And that's for those of us that do like, those of you who do like to do batch making, but similar to me, don't want to make them all the same. So that was those 2. Forgotten what date we're up to now, so apologies, but the next day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 was another sketch, and this time I went back to the Christmas Tags and More Speciality DSP kit that I'd bought from Stampin' Up! A year ago. Might be 2 years ago, can't remember. I love that kit for simple, easy cards, just grab and go kind of thing. I did add in the little bit of speciality with the cardstock being the glittery cardstock, etc., but I pretty much kept to how the sketch was designed and then added the extra elements on the inside. Next day was Poinsettia Perfection, and everybody who's watched my channel for some time will know I am obsessed with these Alex Siberia dies. I absolutely love them, and I decided to just keep to how the design was, the design of the full cluster. I think it's called Christmas Bouquet. This is how it's meant to look, so I kept how it was meant to look in terms of using the background die and then adding the elements on how they were meant to be aligned according to the packaging. But I love this die set because you can then make whatever you want, but I made a vow to myself only to use it once this year. I think in Martin's 30 days of Christmas card making challenge that I did in November last year, I think I used it 5 times in the whole month because I was just obsessed with it. And I did this one as one of my Colour Cube challenge cards. So for those that don't know, I have been trying to do one every month where I choose a Colour Cube card at random, random number generator, and then I create something using those colours. Well, I did a similar thing with that one. I've now forgotten where we're up to again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm proving I can count though, that's good. So date 11 was Silent Night. No, ignore me, that was Silent Night. This was Magic of the Season. And I chose to do little stamps and then create a scene within them with my little Santa and my polar bear. And then I cut them out, and then I created this kind of like 2-tunnel fun fold thing. I don't really know what it's called. I just fancied doing something a bit different, and it's quite cute. Sits really nicely when it's on the if it's on the mantelpiece or on a shelf, and yeah, really cute. Love that one. It was very much an experiment, so it's a work in progress. It could be perfected more, but it was perfection enough for me to be able to carry on with the video. This one for day, are we on 11 now? Do you know how many times do I have to count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is day 12. Was something to do with tree. I'm going to go trimming the tree. No, top the tree. Tree topper. Something along those lines. And I went for one of the dies where you do the sewing. So a Spellbinders stitching die. And created my little tree, did my sewing, and then a different background die for the background, bit of inking, bit of splattering, and loads of sequins for shine. This one just added a little sentiment on the inside, didn't do so much on the inside of that one. What did I do on the inside of this one? Oh, I added the sentiment, that's what I did. Okay. Day 13 was Christmas wrapping, so I created something that looks like a gift. This is actually a fabric paper I've had for years and years and years from Paper Mania with matching coordinating papers. And then the Alex Siberia bow die, loads of shimmer and shine because I used Wink of Stella that I had just basically re-inked, so it went a little bit mad. But yeah, beautiful, fun little card, and then create some tags for the inside too. So they carried on. Have we forgotten what number we're up to? I think we're up to 14, and we were on another colour scheme. This time it's some of my favourite colours. It's navy, emerald and teal, and I created these beautiful little winter birds. I think they're called winter birdies or something along those lines. Beautiful die cuts with a coordinating stencil, and then inked and stenciled in the background, bit of shine, and an extra little bird on the inside. So cute. Okay, on to day 15, Jingle Bells, and we went with decoupage. Really cute sets. I really like those. They're so sweet. This is with using all of them layers, but with glue dots, so much flatter but still got some dimension. And then this was one full set split between the two cards. This one I went with the foam tabs. This one I went with the glue dots, so it looks much slimmer, but again there's still dimension to it, and I just love them. Day 16, and we were onto a sketch again, and this time I'm using Kingston Crafts cardstock pattern paper. It is like a cardstock, it's quite thick, and then some embellishments from Hey Little Magpie is those beautiful snowflakes, and then this is from one of the Kingston Crafts ephemera packs of acetate and vellum pieces. Yeah, sketch. I've now forgotten where we're up to. 15, 16. Okay, this one was, maybe this was top the tree. Trim the tree? That was trim the, oh. No, that was top the tree. This was rocking around the Christmas tree. That's what this one was. And for this one, it was all about using scraps. And I used scraps of speciality cardstock, some coloured cardstock, and did lots of die cutting of all the letters for the tree, and then also used some scrap bits and pieces of cardstock as well. Made some tags as well as the cards. Day 17 is Christmas lights, and we went for a fun fold. And this is a fun fold that my lovely friend Trisha had taught me how to do. It's kind of a fake fun fold because it's actually one card plus another card which has got the fold element. So it's like, I think someone described it as a faux stepper card. and I used loads of speciality cardstocks, and then those fabulous lights from, I'm going to say Pretty Pink Posh, but I could be wrong about where they came from. But yeah, really love that. And then all the cardstocks were actually from an Alex Siberia set of cardstocks. Okay, next one is Holly Jolly Christmas, and I did a one sheet wonder. So I made my own pattern paper out of the stamps from Painted Christmas, and then a template, which is all available on my blog. For those that don't know, blog, www.inkyfingeredcat.me. And yeah, all available on my blog. I made these cards with it. Added in some embossing for some of them. Added different coloured inks for each of the cards, which was using the same inks that I'd used in the stamping. So a yellow, a dark green, a tealy dark green, a lighter tealy dark green, a turquoise, and then the red. Oh, it was actually a pink, it was strawberry slush I think I used for that one. And then all of them just added an element of stamping on the inside, and I went with the holly leaves because it was Holly Jolly Christmas. Now, completely forgotten again what number we are up to. So if that was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, this is day 20, and it was Hang the Stockings. And I was very dubious at the beginning of this video, I remember, with the colour schemes that I'd chosen when I'd done all of my planning work. I really love this card, it's so pretty, with the navy and the green just popping through. Really cute card, I really like it. And obviously nice and sparkly with all of the splatter on it. '21 was a colour scheme, and this colour scheme was to match the main Christmas tree that we have in our house in our lounge, which is green and purple and gold. And I chose to use new bauble dies, so I did quite well for this Christmas in July, not buying too much new stuff. I bought the decoupage sheets that were for the jingle bells. I bought these dies, and then halfway through the month I also ordered some new papers, but it wasn't specifically for Christmas in July, but I did happen to do that and then used some of them. I think everything else was not new stash. It was all stuff that was already in my stash and has been there for a long time. But these dies were new because I didn't really have any baubles that I really wanted to work with. So this was, I say, for the colour scheme, but I just didn't have any good bauble dies. So there we go, that was 21. 22 was I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas, and probably that card and that card probably indicate White Christmas to me. But it was actually all about playing with my jelly plate, and then I created these lovely little scenes with some simple black stamping, and then 4 different ways of finishing off the cards. Inside each of them I've added a sentiment. I've kept it very simple, different sentiment on 2 from the other 2. But yeah, playing with the jelly plate, great fun, very addictive though. I made 6 backgrounds in total. In fact, I've still got the other 2 sitting here on my desk, so that's what they all kind of started looking like. I could easily have gone through sheets and sheets of cardstock to make more because I just love doing it. Have we forgotten what number we're up to again? Yes, I think we're on 23, so apologies if I've got this out of order now. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. This was a sketch, and I did have to slightly alter the card to make it work with the sketch because my circle element and my strips were a little bit too long to do them the other way around. But this was where I used new to me papers. I bought some papers off Vinted from other people who were obviously having a de-stash. So I bought some new papers, and so that was my card using those and the sketch that I designed. Next we have day 24, and it's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. These cute little Avery Elle reindeers. And then I basically went with the idea of children's cards that you could mass produce quickly, easily, use up scraps, etc. So that's what these cards were all about, was just using up little pieces with some pattern cardstock for the base and making little note card type cards. Like the circle elements were just left over from another project, little scraps of ribbon and twine just to finish them off nicely. Day 25 was Blue Christmas, and I went so simple with this and let the shimmer watercolour paints do all of the work really. So simple stamping, really arty kind of card with the torn edge of the watercolour, and just let the watercolour do the job. Nice and simple. Day 26 was Fairy Tale in New York, and you'll have probably worked it out. Quite a lot of my themes, my prompts were based around songs that you hear at Christmas, and this one I hadn't really thought about it when I came up with the theme. Then when I was doing my planning, I thought, oh, I could do a snow globe with a city scene in it, and that's my New York. So this was from a completely non-Christmassy stamp set for the city scene, and I've placed it in my little snow globe, which was a magazine stamp, and then created a fun circle card, which has got a little notch cut out at the bottom, so it's nice and easy to stand up on the shelf. Right, so that was 26. The next one will be 27, which is Joy to the World, and this was all in honour of my lovely friend Martin. So if you don't follow Martin Stone, Martin Mayhem on all of the socials, you are missing out on a treat. And this is my version of a card that was probably one of the first cards of his that I saw and loved, and as a result then, well, let's be honest, stalked him. I'm happy to say he is someone that I am friends with now, and he helps with, well, he organises all the design team stuff that I do as well. But yeah, so this is in honour of Martin, really looking back to the card that I saw in 2020 that brought him to my attention, and I absolutely love it. Love it. Next up, we have a colour scheme of black, silver and red, and this is the colours of the Christmas tree that we have in our downstairs family room. Yes, I have multiple Christmas trees that I put up every year, and they've all got their themes, they've all got their colour schemes, and I went really simple in terms of using the Arrange a Wreath dies, some glitter paper and some black cardstock, and then a little bit of simple stamping. Really simple, really effective card. I love that one. But then I love anything wreath based. You'll have seen a few wreaths along the way. Totally different colour scheme for this. This is for our Let It Snow. That was day 29. Sorry, that was day 28. This is day 29. This one, I just went with a simple emboss resist. I used the pearlescent embossing powder rather than white. Lots of fabulous ink colours in the Distress inks. I think it was Distress inks. Might not have done Distress inks. Can't remember off the top of my head now. It was a few days ago. And then some nice graphic black. So black, black, black came out to play for a few days. Nearly there. Day 30. And this was a sketch. I didn't follow the sketch entirely. I think it would have been better if I'd have made these little grids a little bit smaller, but I used the poinsettia background stencil from Waffle Flower, an old poinsettia layering stamp set from Waffle Flower, to create my very pretty floral card. I love the colours on this. I think it's really, really nice. I love those sparkly gems. I should be using those more frequently, I think. And now we're on to day 31. This was all about Father Christmas. So it was Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I used Vintage Santa again. It's the same stamp set as this one was from. It's the only time I have repeated a stamp or a die from where it's a focal feature kind of thing. But obviously I've used different stamps. I also, for this one, used fabric. So this is fabric rather than pattern paper. I've done some sewing with the machine, added the sewing measuring tapes and the buttons just to finish it off, and then the same on the inside with a little bit more fabric to make it a sewing themed but still a Santa themed card. And there we go. I made quite a lot, didn't I? I didn't make very many tags. I think, was it just those 2 tags I made throughout the whole of the series? So that was something a bit different last year. I think I made a few more tags rather than just cards. Some days I made multiple cards, some days I only made the one. I was trying to only make one most days, but sometimes I just get carried away. I hope you've enjoyed this series. I certainly have enjoyed making all the cards. Let me come back and face you again. There we go, back in view. I have loved making all of these cards. There's not many in here that I don't really like. Like as in go, oh, I really like that card. So if I was to do the Last Christmas challenge next year, I'm going to be stuck trying to find a favourite, if I'm perfectly honest. Because I've just loved, yeah, there's very few in here that I wouldn't happily go, I really like that one and that's one of my favourites. There's not very many in here at all. I just love them. There's some that are very different styles and there's some that I absolutely wouldn't repeat, as in they're very complicated. Why would you want to do that as a Christmas card? I know a lot of people, especially if you don't Christmas card make throughout the year like I do, if you've got 60 cards to suddenly make in only a month's, you know, a month or 2 month lead up to Christmas, then you might want to go with some of the more like repetitive type things. So I'm hoping that throughout the series there's been some tips and tricks along the way on how to do maybe some compartmental making, some batch making, but obviously I don't really do multiples of the same card. That there's always some form of difference. I did do it one year. I made a whole load for my cousin to a specific design and it drove me bananas. And I wasn't very happy doing it. So at that point I went, why do I do this? This is not what I want to do. I do crafting because I really enjoy crafting and I like the creative time. And I love, you know, being able to make a card that I can send to somebody. Thank you once again for everybody who's joined me during Christmas in July. Please don't think that that's the end of my channel for the year. It is not. There will be plenty more things to come. I think I am this afternoon going to do a little chatty video for you, which will probably go up or already be up by the time you're seeing this, about what is in store and what my plans are. But first of all, I need to tidy up. This place is an absolute bomb city because it's been a crazy month. There's things piled under my desk that just need to find a home again because it's been too busy for me to put things away properly during the whole month. I've tried to keep the desk bit reasonably tidy in between sessions, but the rest of the room's just crazy. So I'm going to go and have a tidy up, probably have something to drink, and then I will probably film that other video. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for sticking with me to the end of this video, which is a long one. And if you've been with me for the whole of Christmas in July, I hope you've had fun. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Editor Catherine just coming on. Do a screen grab if you want to see the full list of everything that I made. And once again, thanks so much for watching.